Across Australia's red deserts, forgotten coastlines, and dense eucalyptus forests, there are structures that challenge everything we know about this continent's history. Stone walls predating European settlement by thousands of years. Astronomical observatories built with precision rivaling ancient Egypt. Underground chambers carved from solid rock with tools that shouldn't exist. For decades, archaeologists dismissed these sites as natural formations or colonial constructions. But the evidence tells a different story. Today, we're traveling to 15 locations where the official narrative falls apart, where carbon dating contradicts accepted timelines, where engineering feats exceed the capabilities of cultures we're told inhabited this land. This isn't ancient aliens or conspiracy theory. This is documented archaeology that doesn't fit the story of Australian prehistory. Near Alice Springs in the Northern Territory, the Kalkarinji stone arrangements cover 3 hectares of desert floor. Thousands of rocks, some weighing over 200 kilograms, arranged in precise geometric patterns. Circles within circles. Lines pointing to specific stars during the winter solstice. Archaeologist Josephine Flood documented these formations in 1973. The traditional Karijini people say their ancestors didn't build these structures. Their oral histories speak of finding them already ancient. Carbon dating of organic material beneath the stones suggests they're at least 8,000 years old, older than Stonehenge. The astronomical alignments indicate whoever built this understood celestial mechanics at a level we attribute to much later civilizations. In Victoria's Grampians National Park, massive granite slabs form what locals call the Giant's Cave. Stones weighing between 5 and 15 tons, positioned to create a chamber that stays cool in summer and warm in winter. Professor Gary Presland examined the site in 2006. His conclusion shocked archaeologists. The stones show tool marks consistent with Bronze Age technology. Bronze tools in Australia, centuries before Europeans arrived. His findings were published in a regional journal and forgotten. Parks Victoria maintains the site is natural. Signs direct tourists away from the area. The sandstone cliffs of Kariong, north of Sydney, hold Egyptian hieroglyphs. 250 distinct symbols carved deep inside a hidden canyon. Not crude imitations, but detailed hieroglyphic text, including cartouches denoting royal names. Egyptologist Ray Johnson spent 3 years translating the inscriptions. The text describes an expedition led by Lord Jess Ebb, son of Pharaoh Khufu, who sailed to Australia around 2400 BC. Academics dismiss it as a hoax from the 1970s, but photographs of the glyphs exist from 1935. Chemical analysis suggests the inscriptions are at least several hundred years old. The New South Wales government declared the canyon off-limits in 2012. On Tasmania's Bruny Island, beneath the high tide line, lies a wall stretching nearly a kilometre, constructed from basalt blocks weighing up to 300 kilograms, standing 3 metres high, perfectly straight. Marine archaeologist Philip Hayden examined it in 1998. The blocks are fitted without mortar, using dry stone walling, common in ancient Mediterranean construction. For this wall to have been built on dry land, then submerged, it would be at least 10,000 years old. That predates accepted human arrival in Tasmania by thousands of years. The Tasmanian Aboriginal Land Council has forbidden further investigation. Scientific requests for carbon dating have been denied. Western Australia's Burrup Peninsula holds over 1 million rock carvings. Kangaroos, emus, human figures. But scattered among these are carvings that don't belong. Ships with tall masts and square rigging. Animals resembling elephants. Symbols matching Phoenician maritime markers. The Murujuga Aboriginal Corporation maintains these carvings are 40,000 years old. But square-rigged sailing ships weren't invented until 3000 BC. Dr. Robert Bednarik suggests the peninsula was visited by seafaring civilizations during multiple periods. Each wave added their images. His theory rewrites Australian history. The federal government has classified large sections as industrial zones, allowing mining companies to destroy thousands of carvings. The Blue Mountains, west of Sydney, hide a structure so controversial, its exact location is kept secret. Deep in Woomera National Park wilderness, accessible only by helicopter or 3-day hike through dense bush, stands a pyramid. An actual stepped pyramid from massive sandstone blocks. Each side measures 120 meters at the base, rising in 7 terraces to 30 meters. At the summit sits a chamber of precisely cut stone. Paul White discovered it in 2003 while searching for a lost valley. National Parks confiscated his camera and threatened prosecution. 3 years later, a University of New South Wales team conducted unauthorized satellite imaging. Their leaked report confirmed the structure is artificial. Ground-penetrating radar revealed internal chambers and sophisticated drainage systems. The government expanded the restricted zone to 10 kilometers. No archaeologist has been granted access since. Near Woomera in South Australia, famous for its rocket testing range, Rex Gilroy discovered an underground complex in 1976. The entrance led to tunnels carved through solid limestone, perfectly round, 2.5 meters in diameter. Walls smooth with marks from rotating cutting tools. The tunnels extend at least 3 kilometers, running 30 meters below ground. Gilroy removed rock samples before military sealed the entrance. Analysis confirmed the cutting marks were artificial. The museum's report concluded they were probably created by early European miners, but there's no record of any mining activity in that area. The Woomera prohibited area now covers the site. On Cape York, peninsula's western coast, where crocodile-infested rivers meet the Coral Sea, a stone structure rises from the mangrove swamp. The Bambaga Pyramid, as locals call it, is a terraced platform built from coral blocks and sandstone. It measures 80 meters on each side and stands 12 meters high. The summit is flat, perfectly level, and large enough to land a helicopter. Portuguese explorer Cristóvão de Mendonça mentioned seeing a great stone temple on the Australian coast in his journal from 1522, decades before official European discovery of the continent. His description matches the Bambaga site precisely. Archaeological dating places the structure between 800 and 1,000 years old, coinciding with the period when Polynesian navigators were making extraordinary ocean voyages across the Pacific. The construction technique, using coral blocks mortared with crushed shells and volcanic ash, matches building methods found in Tonga and Samoa. If Polynesian builders constructed this pyramid, it means Australia was part of a much larger Pacific trading network. It means Aboriginal isolation is a myth invented by historians. The Queensland Museum sent a team to investigate in 1984. Their findings were never published. The site remains officially unexplained. The ancient rainforests of Queensland's Atherton Tablelands conceal stone walls stretching for kilometres through dense vegetation. The walls, constructed from basalt blocks, run in straight lines up steep hills and down into valleys. They're between 1 and 2 metres high and approximately 1 metre thick. Farmer Fabian Pitt discovered the first section in 1938 while clearing land for grazing. Since then, over 10 kilometres of walls have been documented by local researchers. Some sections are buried under 2 metres of topsoil, indicating extreme age. Tree ring analysis of a massive fig tree growing on one wall suggests the structure is at least 800 years old, but the tree was already enormous when European settlers arrived in the 1800s. The walls don't mark property boundaries. They don't follow contour lines for water management. They don't appear to have any practical agricultural purpose. What they do show is evidence of organized labor on a massive scale. Thousands of tons of stone had to be quarried, transported through dense jungle, and precisely fitted together. James Cook University conducted a limited survey in 2014. Their conclusion was carefully worded. The walls are definitely man-made and definitely old, but further research would require funding that isn't currently available. Translation: someone doesn't want these walls investigated too closely. Takes us back to Western Australia, to the Pilbara region, where some of Earth's oldest rocks form spectacular gorges and red plateaus. In a remote corner of Karijini National Park, there's a stone circle that rivals Britain's Avebury in size and complexity. 57 standing stones, each between 2 and 4 meters tall, arranged in a perfect circle measuring 90 meters in diameter. Inside the main circle, smaller stones create an inner ring and what appears to be an altar platform. The stones aren't local. Geological analysis shows they're granite, quarried from an outcrop 20 kilometers away across rough terrain. The Yindjibarndi people, traditional owners of the land, say the circle was built by spirit beings during the dream time. Their stories describe the stones being floated through the air and placed by beings who came from the sky. Archaeologist Charlie Morwood documented the site in 2007. He noted that the main axis of the circle aligns perfectly with the sunrise on the winter solstice. This kind of astronomical precision requires generations of observation and sophisticated mathematical calculation. Morwood applied for funding to conduct a full excavation and dating survey. His application was denied. Parks Australia cited concerns about disturbing a sacred site. The Yindjibarndi people have stated publicly they would welcome scientific investigation. Someone else is blocking the research. The tropical waters off Queensland's coast hide underwater structures that challenge our understanding of sea level changes and human habitation. Near the Keppel Islands, recreational divers have reported finding what appears to be a submerged stone road running along the seabed at a depth of 25 meters. The structure is composed of flat stones arranged in a path approximately 3 meters wide and at least 500 meters long. Sections of the road show evidence of regular maintenance, with smaller stones filling gaps and creating a level surface. Marine archaeologist Peter Gesner investigated the site using submersible photography in 2010. His images clearly show the stones are arranged, not naturally deposited by ocean currents. Some blocks have been shaped with flat tops and squared edges. For this road to have been constructed on dry land, sea levels would need to have been at least 25 meters lower than today. That places construction during the last ice age, roughly 15 to 20,000 years ago. The Great Barrier Reef Marine Park Authority has prohibited any removal of stones for carbon dating. They classify the site as a natural reef formation, despite photographic evidence to the contrary. Gesner's research remains unpublished. His funding was not renewed. In the red sand country of the Northern Territory, near Uluru but far from tourist tracks, there's an arrangement of rocks that forms what can only be described as an ancient calendar. The site consists of 3 concentric circles of standing stones. The outer circle has 365 stones. The middle circle has 12 larger stones. The inner circle has 7 massive boulders, each over 3 meters tall. The alignment is astronomical. The 365 outer stones represent days of the solar year. The 12 middle stones mark lunar months. The 7 inner boulders align with significant stellar events, including the rising of the Pleiades constellation. Astronomer Philip Clark from the University of Adelaide studied the site in 1995. His calculations showed the calendar was accurate to within 1 day per year, a precision that requires detailed astronomical knowledge and mathematical ability. Clark estimated the calendar had been in use for at least 2,000 years based on the precession of stellar positions. The local Arrernte people have stories about the calendar being a teaching place where lawkeepers learn to track seasons and plan ceremonies. But they also say the original builders were a different people who lived in the area before the Arrernte arrived. The site is on Aboriginal land. Access requires permission from the traditional owners. That permission is never granted to outside researchers. The granite outcrops of Victoria's Macedon Ranges contain caves that show evidence of mining activity dating back thousands of years. The hanging rock formations are famous for their mysterious disappearances, immortalized in the novel Picnic at Hanging Rock. But beneath the tourist attraction lies something far stranger. A network of tunnels extends deep into the volcanic rock. The tunnels are too regular to be natural lava tubes. They show chisel marks and deliberate shaping. In several chambers, the walls have been carved with geometric patterns and symbols that don't match any known Aboriginal art style. Geologist Ian Lewis explored the tunnel system in 2001 before authorities sealed the entrances. He reported finding what appeared to be ancient mining operations. Shallow pits had been dug into quartz veins, and the surrounding rock had been crushed and sorted, consistent with gold extraction. Chemical analysis of the rock surfaces showed traces of fire, suggesting the miners used heat to fracture the stone. The Aboriginal people of the area have no tradition of gold mining. The first European gold rushes didn't occur until 1851. Who was mining gold in the Macedon Ranges centuries earlier? The Victorian government has declared the tunnel system unsafe and filled the known entrances with concrete. No further exploration is permitted. Brings us to South Australia's Flinders Ranges, where the ancient landscape preserves evidence of a civilization that shouldn't have existed. In a remote valley, accessible only by four-wheel drive, there's a stone building unlike anything else in Australia. The structure is rectangular, measuring 15 metres by 10 metres, with walls standing 4 metres high. The walls are constructed from precisely cut blocks of limestone, fitted together without mortar. The building has doorways with stone lintels and window openings at regular intervals. Inside, the remains of what appears to be a floor made from polished stone tiles. This isn't an Aboriginal shelter. Aboriginal architecture didn't use rectangular buildings, dressed stone blocks, or permanent structures of this type. This is Mediterranean-style construction. Archaeologist Stephen Strong documented the site in 2016. He found pottery fragments outside the building that initial analysis suggested were earthenware, possibly of Middle Eastern origin. Strong applied for permission to conduct a full excavation. The South Australian Heritage Council denied his request. They claimed the structure is a shepherd's hut built by early European settlers. There are two problems with that explanation. First, there's no record of any European settlement in this remote valley. Second, the building is partially buried under nearly a metre of sediment and surrounded by trees that are at least 300 years old. The site remains unexplained, unexcavated, and off limits. If you've made it this far into the video, you're clearly interested in Australia's hidden history. Hit that subscribe button right now, because next week we're investigating 3 Australian towns that vanished overnight with no explanation. We're talking about entire communities gone. No bodies, no signs of struggle, just empty houses and questions that have haunted investigators for decades. You won't want to miss that investigation. Now let's look at our final ancient structure. Number 15. In the waters off Port Douglas in far north Queensland, commercial fishermen have reported snagging their nets on what they describe as underwater walls for over a century. In 2018, a team of technical divers finally investigated the reports. What they found, at a depth of 40 metres, was a megalithic wall running parallel to the coast for over 3 kilometres. The wall is constructed from massive limestone blocks. each weighing an estimated 2 to 5 tons. The blocks are fitted together with such precision that a knife blade cannot fit between them. This construction technique, called ashlar masonry, is found in ancient Inca structures in Peru and pre-dynastic Egyptian monuments. The top of the wall sits 40 meters below current sea level. For this structure to have been built on dry land, sea levels would need to have been at least 50 meters lower. That places construction during the peak of the last ice age, approximately 20,000 years ago. Official human history says Australia wasn't colonised until around 65,000 years ago, and those early inhabitants were hunter-gatherers. They didn't build megalithic structures. They didn't have the population density or organisational capability for such massive construction projects. The Port Douglas Wall suggests either our timeline is wrong or a completely different civilization existed in ancient Australia. The Queensland Museum refuses to comment on the discovery. The site has been declared a shipping hazard, and diving in the area is now prohibited. 15 structures, 15 locations across Australia where the evidence doesn't match the official story. Stone walls built with Bronze Age tools before Bronze Age technology supposedly reached Australia. Astronomical observatories demonstrating mathematical knowledge that rivals ancient Mesopotamia. Underground tunnel systems that required organised labour and sophisticated engineering expertise. Pyramids that mirror construction techniques from Egypt and South America. What ties all these sites together is silence. University departments that refuse to investigate. Government agencies that restrict access and deny research permits. Heritage authorities that classify megalithic structures as natural formations or recent constructions despite photographic and geological evidence to the contrary. The pattern suggests something more than simple academic disagreement. It suggests a coordinated effort to maintain a specific narrative about Australian prehistory. Why? What would happen if we acknowledged that Australia was visited by seafaring civilizations thousands of years before European arrival? What would happen if we admitted that the continent once hosted cultures capable of architectural and astronomical achievements that rival the ancient world? The implications would cascade through our understanding of world history. Trade networks that span the Pacific and Indian Oceans, connecting continents we thought were isolated. Maritime technology more advanced than we've credited to ancient peoples. Cultural exchange between Australia and civilizations we're told never made contact. These 15 structures are evidence that demands investigation, not suppression. They're mysteries that deserve answers, not convenient explanations that ignore the facts. Until Australian authorities allow proper scientific examination of these sites, including radiocarbon dating, geological surveys, and full archaeological excavation, we won't know the complete story of this continent's human history. What we do know is the story we've been told is incomplete, and possibly completely wrong. What do you really think? Are these structures evidence of lost civilizations that visited or inhabited Australia thousands of years ago? Or are they natural formations and colonial-era construction that researchers are misinterpreting? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want more investigations into Australia's hidden history and unexplained mysteries, make sure you're subscribed. We're covering the stories the mainstream media won't touch. Thanks for watching. Until next time, keep questioning everything.